Hello again there, everyone. Hockey Guy here for OutstandingPoker.com. Back today with a first in a series of videos on full ring games at the Micro Stakes. And today we'll be looking at some $10 no limit. Just wanted to go over a couple things here before we get started, and hopefully this will be helpful to those watching the video. And so, first thing is, just wanted to talk a little about I started about a year ago here at the Micro Stakes level at OutstandingPoker.com, and after many years of kind of struggling, and have been able to move up quite a few levels since then, and just wanted to talk a little bit about how I did that. Hopefully that'll be helpful. Basically, just always started out at any level playing the tight, aggressive OutstandingPoker.com style, staying in position, stealing blinds, being tight and aggressive, defending blinds, and here at the full ring games also have introduced quite a few isolation raises against some of the weaker players when I have position on them. But the general process is I played tight every time I moved up a level till I kind of got comfortable, and then I would generally loosen up a little bit and be a little more aggressive. And once I saw what the other players were all about, and tried to exploit their weaknesses a little more aggressive with a little wider range of hands. One thing when you're doing that, you always want to be paying attention to the opponent's style and stack size, and we'll touch on that as we go along. When looking at if anybody's coming over from the 6-man games, really need to get in the proper mindset to play full ring games. They're a little slower moving, not as much action. If you played 4 6-man tables and now you're playing 4 full ring tables, not going to be nearly as much action. So need to get yourself prepared for that mentally, and so you don't lose discipline and patience and start doing things you shouldn't be doing. Pre-play read, most of the players at these micro games I have noticed are way too tight or way too loose. There's some other players kind of in the middle who have other serious weaknesses, but the most common thing is you'll see players super nitty, 6% VPIP, or you'll see them up in the 30s or even more, which is way too loose for a full ring game. Neither of those two type players are positionally aware at all, and you can exploit that in a number of ways, which we'll take a look at. The reason we know they're not positionally aware is simply by the number of hands they play. If they were aware, they would play more than 6% or less than 30% of the hands they're playing. So, and then they usually flag themselves again. If you see people posting when they're only 2-3 seats out of 4 seats out of the big blind, that's usually a pretty good hint that they're somewhat clueless about position as well. Simplified HUD display for the heads-up stats. So many seats, you can only fit so much stuff on there space-wise, and you'll only have so much time to look at them. Anyhow, so there's just a summary of the stats I use in the heads-up display, which you'll see when we get to the video here in just a moment. Overall game plan, again, tight, aggressive poker, position, position, position. Ultra important in the full ring game, since you have so many more players that are potentially behind you, especially from early position. Really need to be aware of that.
Alex?
We will be stealing quite a few blinds, and I'll touch on kind of the ins and outs of that as we hit the video as well. And the isolation raise I already mentioned is a pretty common play at the full ring games that you don't see quite as much in the 6-man games. Specific game plan, really looking for players in situations where we can punish them, and the heads-up display will be helpful there to determine who we will punish and